Hello, students. So, welcome back to this topic called biotechnology, the part one, where the title of the part one chapter is Principle and Processes of Biotechnology. We were into dealing with the processes of recombinant DNA technology. We need to understand the first process. The first process is nothing but we have to understand is called isolation of DNA. Look at that. Now, what I mean by isolation of DNA, where suppose already we have selected a desired gene. So we selected a desired gene, maybe different host for that matter, whether it is a prokaryotic host or it is from the eukaryotic host. But we need to take out that desired gene. So we are interested in so and so that. So hence how do we take out the DNA? That is the other interested gene. That is a kind of a concept that we are understanding now is called as isolation of DNA. Look at that, students. Even when we come to the isolation of DNA, students, suppose we have selected a bacteria. Okay, the interested gene is from the bacteria. Now, the bacteria has got a cell wall. So you all know that the bacteria, suppose a rod-shaped bacteria, when I draw, there will be presence of what is called as a toughest kind of a rough material is called a cell wall. So inside the cell wall, when we go cytoplasm, there only we can able to have a nucleoid. So we need to break this cell wall, correct? So then only we can able to take out that nucleus or take out the gene or the DNA what we are interested in, correct? So what we have to do, we have to introduce a lysozyme enzyme. So please make a note of that. Lysozyme enzyme should be introduced here. So once we introduce a lysozyme, it can able to break the cell wall, correct? Now, suppose if it is a host which is a plant host, from the plant I want to extract the desired gene, then what I should do, even the plant also has got a cell wall, plant cell also has got a cell wall, that is again made up of very tough and rough kind of a thing. Now for that I should use cellulase is an enzyme. Cellulase is an enzyme. So when it comes to the cell wall of the plant, there is what is present is called cellulose, that which is a polysaccharide. Whereas in the case of a bacteria, what is present is called peptidoglycan. Clear? So that is why it has been peptidoglycan will be broken by lysozyme. The cellulase will break the cell wall of plant. Clear? Now, if it is a fungus, I want to take out from the fungus, then the cell wall of the fungus is made up of chitin. I should use an enzyme that is called as a chitinase then, isn't it? So like that, I have to use based on the whatever the thing I want to extract from which particular source. Suppose when I go to the animal cell, there's no cell wall at all. There's no issue of breaking the cell wall. Clear? Now, now let's concentrate on the next step. The next step, what like the DNA which is there, which will be mixed with the RNA, which with mixed with the protein. We call it a ribonucleoproteins like that. We call it a. So I want only the DNA. So we will remove the RNA. If it is RNA is there, then we have to remove the. How do you remove the RNA? I will use the RNase. To remove the RNA, I use the enzyme called RNA, so that the RNA will be removed. Then, then what is left out? Then certain proteins are also left out. The proteins I should remove by using the enzyme called protease. By using protease enzyme, I will remove the protein. Okay, fine. Now what is left out? DNA is there, but the DNA will also with the some other kind of impurities. So now what we have to do? We have to add chilled ethanol to this. Once we add chilled ethanol, it becomes the precipitate. It becomes precipitate, and finally we can able to remove the DNA, which will be in the form of a thread. We can able to remove in the form of a thread. That process is called spooling. The spooling is the process where we can able to extract the DNA just like a thread. Now that is a kind of a process that we need to do for the isolation of DNA. I hope so. This is the first step in the RDT process. Now, after this, you know that we have to understand the concept that is called as a gel electrophoresis. So what is gel electrophoresis means? So there will be a, just like a slab or a slope. Okay. Now we need to focus on the gene what we have taken. So that has to be broken into small small pieces. The separation of the DNA we call it up. So basically what we are understanding is this is a method which is involved. The principle is called separation of DNA into fragments. Separation of DNA into fragments. So this overall this method depends on the size and as well as the source. Okay. Now, as you all know that DNA is a negatively charged. What we have to do is that can able to move. The DNA can able to move. Okay, towards the anode then. So let me take a two electrodes, cathode and anode. The anode which is a positive, the DNA is a negatively charged. So let it move towards the anode. So that's a way of separating it. Okay. Now in the particular diagram, you know, you are seeing the slope. In the slope also you can see the wells over there. You can able to see wells. Now in the wells, you know, this particular wells has the DNA already. We extracted some in the desired gene which has been interested thing. Now to that we will add the restriction endonucleases. It will cut into pieces. Now the separated the whatever the fragments, you know, the fragments will have two different kinds of pieces in that case. One is a larger one and the one is a smaller one. So DNA wells are used with REN and it gives fragments, the larger one, smaller one. Now, what is exactly the on that particular slope, you know, the fragment has to run, a fragment has to move. So the moving, when that case, when we say it will move towards the anode end because the DNA is negatively charged, so it will move to the anode end. So whether the bigger pieces will move faster or the smaller one, basically smaller pieces will move faster. Smaller pieces will move faster, isn't it? So it will go and move towards the anode, towards anode. Now these pieces, whatever you are seeing on the slope, you know, students, now one is a bigger one you can see and the one is a smaller one. Smaller one are very near to the anode. So that is where exactly you need to understand. Now this is the way or the method of separating the DNA fragments. Now for the movement also, what you can add on to the slope, you know, we can add what is called as agarose gel. If the agarose gel is added, it will be move faster. Now the agarose gel means agarose, which is obtained. Agar is obtained from the gelidium, which is a red algae. From that we can able to obtain the things. Now once the fragments are separated and they are on the slope, okay, they are quite near to the anode region. Now what is a guarantee that the fragments are separated? Now for that kind of a thing, what we have to understand is we have to add some colors to that. Color what we are adding is called ethidium bromide color. So once we add the color, what happens if the coloration is given to that, then it results in what is called as once the color is given, so you cannot see them. So that we have to put a UV radiation to that. If you put a UV radiation, then it looks bright orange in color. So it gives a bright orange in color. So ethidium bromide will gonna give bright orange color. So then it is confirmed that yeah, the fragments are separated, whether it is a smaller or larger one. Now after that, we can able to collect it from that particular slope. Just collection from the slope, that is called as elution. The process is called elution. So basically, whatever we discussed, you know, this the method which was introduced by the scientist, his name is called Tiselius. Please make a note of that. This is the one of the method. So next is called PCR technology. So what is PCR? PCR expansion is called polymerase chain reaction. And who was introduced this was Kary Mullis. But earlier also it was there, PCR, but correctly in a very authenticated, in accurate manner, successfully done by the Kary-Mullis. Now, what is a procedure here? Procedure polymerase chain reaction meaning, suppose you take an interested gene and you did the certain fragments over there, that's fine. But the same fragment, you can make it as a millions of copies, millions of copies, billions of copies. So the more and more numbers can be done the same desired gene what you have taken. That process is called as amplification of DNA. So now you got the point. PCR is involved in the amplification of the DNA. That means billions of copies of the DNA, the same gene of interest what you have taken, can be produced. And then later we can store that, right? So these billions of copies can be produced within few seconds. Look at that, very fast. Within few seconds or within minute you can do it. Now further there is a formula also we have written here, 2 to the power of n, 2 to the power of 2 fragments, 2 to the power of n in the sense number of cycles. For example, number of cycles, if it is a 30 cycles we run the PCR machine, then it will gonna give rise to 1 billion copies. So that is the prediction of that. 2 to the power of n is the formula for it. Now, hope so that you are understanding now what is exactly. But earlier, what was a problem before Kary-Mullis? We used to do this. They used an enzyme called a DNA polymerase. What is the use of DNA polymerase? That is for polymerization of the DNA, where the nucleotides has to be joined and then the polymer, that is a chain, has to be formed. So that was a function. Now for every fragment what we have synthesized, for every cycle you have to add a new DNA polymerase. That was time consuming. Again and again, for example, 30 cycles, if you want to do it, again and again, you have to add the DNA polymerase. But what is another problem created was, it was giving errors, many errors it was giving. Whatever the promptly, it was not producing the fragments or application things. So that was a flop show. The flop show in the sense that was very, very slow process. That is why Kary-Mullis worked out, and they introduced one of the enzyme. The enzyme name is called Taq polymerase. Please make a note of that. Taq polymerase is an enzyme. What is the meaning of Taq polymerase? This is an enzyme which will be produced by the bacteria. The bacteria name is called Thermus aquaticus. Thermus aquaticus, meaning this is a bacteria which can able to withstand very high temperature, which can grow in hot springs, we can call it up. So by using this bacteria, from this bacteria, if you extract the enzyme, that enzyme name is called Taq polymerase. If once this Taq polymerase is added, what happens? There is no need to add again and again adding for each and every cycle this particular polymerase. Once you added 30 cycle completely without non-stop, it can able to do it the process and it can able to give the results because it can able to withstand the temperature. So that is a point here about the PCR. Now let's understand what are the requirement of the PCR. We require RNA primer, which is a oligonucleotide sequence. We require a DNA template. Template means a original, whatever the gene of interest that is already we have taken, that is a template. Mg2 plus is also required for the particular process to be done. DNTPs means, what is DNTPs means? Deoxyribonucleoside triphosphate. These are required. That is the pieces actually. These pieces has to be connected or combined by the enzyme called as a Taq polymerase. Then only polymerization will gonna occur. So these are the requirements that is being needed for PCR technology. Now let's understand what are the steps of the PCR. Now there are 3 steps. One is called denaturation, number 2 is annealing, and number 3 is a primary extension, we call it up. Yes, there are now, these are all different steps we need to understand, we need to conduct this. Okay,